What's good people, and welcome back to the channel Crewboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy Podcast, episode 60, G20 spoiler review and nerdy notes on Viola Davis. I'll be giving my spoiler review thoughts on the new Prime Video film G20 and nerdy notes on Viola Davis. What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody is doing very well. Glad to be back to do another episode. And before I get to the main topic, I'm going to bring back a segment that I had when I had this podcast. It was when it was audio only, and that is the Nerdy Notes. And the Nerdy Notes was an additional segment that was later added on to bring additional information, fun facts on the main topic that I would be talking about. However, sometimes it would be topics that was completely different but still relevant in other entertainment news stories, and so that's what I'm going to try to do from time to time. And so for this episode, the nerdy notes are related to the main topic, and it is focused on Viola Davis. And if you don't know, Viola Davis is one of the few people that is an EGOT winner. And an EGOT winner is when you have the 4 awards in 4 separate categories. One for TV, one for film, one for music or storytelling, and one for the stage. And Viola Davis has reached that status as of 2023. And she became the 18th person to do it. And so I'm just going to run through her awards. Let's start with the Emmy Award, which you win that one on TV, and she won that back in 2015 for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, and that series was How to Get Away with Murder. Of course, that was a big deal back then, back on ABC when you had How to Get Away with Murder. You had Scandal, you had Grey's Anatomy on Thursday nights, headline with Shonda Rhimes, the executive producer, creator, and showrunner, dominating Thursday nights at that time. And that was a show that I did watch, How to Get Away with Murder. Unfortunately, I did not finish the show towards the end, but that was a great show. And so Viola Davis won an Emmy Award for that show. And then the Grammy, she got that one in 2023, which that one then brought her to the EGOT status. And she won that for Best Audiobook Narration and Storytelling for recording Finding Me. And of course, you can get the Grammy via music or via storytelling. And that's the way Viola did it, via storytelling. And then the Oscar, she got the Oscar in 2017 for Best Supporting Actress for Fences. You got the Academy Award for the film Fences, and ironically, that is when she won one of her Tony Awards was also for Fences on stage. That's right, Fences is a play, and ironically, I found out in my research that the film did come to theaters in 2016. However, the film is based off of the play, which premiered back in 1985 and then opened on Broadway in 1987. Also, James Earl Jones portrayed the character of Troy Maxon, which is played by Denzel Washington in the 2016 film, which also I did see it back in the day. I enjoyed it. It was more so heavy dialogue, but it was good dialogue. And I did enjoy that film back then. And so the irony that she won the Tony Award for Fences back in 2010 and then came back years later and was able to portray that same role on the big screen. And then also Viola Davis she has 2 Tony Awards. She got another Tony Award back in 2001 for Best Featured Actress in a Play for the play King Hedley II. And so just wanted to highlight those few things that Viola has. And now, as I segue to the movie, not the main topic, but I want to get to some quotes that Viola had out before the G20 movie came out, and some interesting things. And these quotes come via the entertainment outlet Variety, back on April 3rd, Viola said, quote, "I wanted to do something popular. Internally, you're always trying to get back to the fun. I needed some levity in my life." And then in another quote, "The only two people you owe anything to are your 6-year-old self and your 80-year-old self," end quote. And then one more quote about the G20 movie. She said, "Getting the chance to be a full-blown action hero in G20 made 6-year-old Viola squeal," end quote. And so I just wanted to mention that because it's nice to see that she said that, and she's right, because not every film that everyone does has to be Oscar worthy. It has to be so serious. You have to do some stuff for fun. So I'm pretty sure that most of the actors and actresses got into doing acting because they liked it and enjoyed it. It was fun for them. And I'm sure as one goes through their careers, sometimes that gets lost sight of. And so it's nice to occasionally, hey, I want to do something fun. And if you win an award for it, great. But if you don't, it's fine. So as long as you're having fun doing it, if you're having fun doing it, then the audience will have fun as well too. So I just thought that was pretty interesting for her to say that. And, you know, we all want to have fun when we go to the movies. Okay. So now let's get into the spoiler review for the G20 Prime Video movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, now's your chance to pause and come back. Of course, this film premiered on April 11th on Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video. So it is currently streaming now. So this is your final spoiler warning. And this film is directed by Patricia Regan. And some of her credits include some TV episodes in particular. She directed one episode of Law and Order SVU back in 2023 on NBC. She also directed 3 episodes of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan show, which was on Prime Video. There's the Prime Video relationship. And then also she directed one episode of Proven Innocent back in 2019. That was a show that was on Fox. It got canceled after one season. So those are some of her director credits. And of course, this cast includes Viola Davis, and Viola Davis is also a producer on this film also. And then it also stars Anthony Anderson, Marsai Martin. Of course, we have a small, mini Blackish reunion of the great sitcom that ran for multiple seasons on ABC. So it's nice to see the two of them on screen together doing something completely different. So that was pretty great. And then we also have Ramon Rodriguez. We have Elizabeth Marvel, Christopher Farrar, and Clark Gregg, the great Clark Gregg. Of course, we've seen him in a lot of MCU movies and other projects. And so that's the main cast, and as well as many others. Now, getting to this film, I really enjoyed this film. I really had a lot of fun with this film. In terms of the performances, were there any standouts? Besides, Viola Davis was the standout. She was great. She had a lot of great moments. But aside from her, I would say Ramon Rodriguez. He played the head of the Secret Service detail. He stood out to me. He had really great moments with Viola Davis' character, and it was just a great relationship that he had with Viola Davis' character. Of course, Viola Davis portrays the president of the United States in this film, and she does it very, very well. And it's just great to see on screen. And the relationship that she has with her head of Secret Service detail, that is it's pretty great. And in terms of the story, I did enjoy it. It did have some elements similar, but they did something a little different in terms of the film, The Cleaner, which came out in February earlier of this year, which starred Daisy Ridley. It was kind of almost the same thing where they took control of an event and made people, say certain things and use AI, but their reasoning behind it was different in terms of what they did in the Cleaner movie versus what they did in this G20 movie. So similarities between those two films. I just thought I would highlight that. But like I said, I liked the story, and it was just cool just to see Viola Davis, kicking butt and just taking names and getting into the physical action, the hand-to-hand combat, what she was doing both physically with the fight and the stunt coordination, as well as handling the weapons. Now, I don't know how much of it that she did herself and versus how much was her stunt double, but just my own personal opinion and my own observations based off what she did in Woman King from a few years ago, which was really great. She did a lot, if not all of her stunts in that film. I'm pretty sure she was able to do a good chunk of this one in this G20 movie based off what she did in Woman King. It was just great. She just handled herself great and she just looked good on screen. The choreography, especially, I enjoyed the scene, the fight scene in the elevator in terms of the choreography with all the people involved in that. That was pretty good as well. So like I said, that was that was one of the things I enjoyed, and the story overall pretty good. The relationships I did enjoy as well, and then how the villain was, I thought he was pretty good, had pretty good motivations for doing what he did, and then just having, the way the story developed, as he was eventually the inside guy that took control of the G20 summit, which that part of the story, the majority of the story took place in Cape Town, South Africa, which they did actually go to film this movie. So what else can we talk about? I talk about the action set pieces. They also went to briefly Budapest, Hungary, Washington, D.C., of course. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this movie. The pacing and the rhythm of this movie was great. It kept moving. No problems with that for me. The music I thought was pretty good. Nothing really added to it, but I did thought it was pretty good that they had the South African music playing in those scenes and just overall as they were in South Africa. So pretty good. Excuse me, as I am losing my voice a little bit. So, gosh, wow. Pardon me, folks. Yeah, just lost my voice there. We're gonna keep going, keep pressing forward. So as I was saying, I very much enjoyed this movie overall. So I had a lot of fun with it. Would I watch it again? I think so. And if this was in the theater, would I want to do the Blu-ray and purchase it and watch and see how it was made? Yes, I would. I definitely would say that this is a Blu-ray worthy. So yeah, this was a great film. I enjoyed it and wouldn't mind watching it again. And I think I'm just going to end it here because apparently I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't know why. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a little something and hope you were distracted. And please, if you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to the channel, like, and leave a comment and follow us wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Spotify as well. So that is all that I'm going to have today. Until next time, we will talk soon.